Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Blessing ABA Toma, and in today's video, I'll be teaching you how to make this stylish top with a continuous cap sleeve. It's very simple, it is beginner friendly, and it is very detailed. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn on your post notifications so you will be notified when I upload another video. To draft the pattern for this top, first draw out your starting line. That is where all measurements will start from. The next thing you want to do is to take the length of your top. I'm marking point around 18 inches. That will be the length of the top. Then I'm going to draw a straight line across. The next line you want to draw is your under bust. That is from your shoulder to your under bust. Mine is 13 inches. So I will mark points across and then I'm going to draw a straight line also across like so. Next, you want to take your shoulder measurements, then you will come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. The next thing you want to determine is the width of the neckline. I'm using 5 inches for the width of the neckline, and I'm going to connect from the shoulder slope to the width of the neckline. The next thing you want to do is to mark your armhole depth. Your armhole depth, to get your armhole depth, you are going to divide your bust by 6, then you add 1.5. Mine is 7.5, so I'm going to mark points around 7.5, and then I'm going to mark my shoulder measurements again like so. I'm also going to mark my shoulder measurements here again, just so I can get a straight line. My shoulder is 15, so 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So now I'm going to draw a straight line across. My armhole depth is 7.5 plus the 1 inch for shoulder slope, that is 8.5. So I'm going to draw points around this 8.5. The next thing I want to do is to mark my bust measurements. This bust measurement I'm taking is just so I can get my armhole curve. I'm going to divide the 7.5 I have for my armhole depth into 2. So you're going to divide whatever you have into 2, and then you're going to mark the midpoint. Then you will come in by ½ inch. Then we're going to connect these three lines together like so to get our armhole curve. Basically, we are drafting a half scale basic bodice. The only difference is the continuous cap sleeve. That is the difference from these bodies and a normal half scale basic bodice. Now we are coming up by 2 inch. From your chest line, you will come up by 2 inch, and then you are going to connect a straight line like so. From your chest line, come up by 2 inches. Now we want to draft the continuous cap sleeve. So what you are going to do now, you're going to extend your armhole by 3.5. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm extending by 3.5, and I'm going to connect a straight line like so. Not a straight line actually. You're going to follow the existing slanted line, and then you're going to connect it to the 3.5 inch. Then I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch. Can you see? I'm coming down by 1.5 inch. Then I will connect this 1.5 inch now that I came by to that 3, to my actual shoulder measurement. Can you see that it's 3.5 inch? I came up by 3.5 inch, and I'm coming down by 1.5 inch. So you're going to connect it like so with your hammer curve, and then you are now going to connect it to the 2 inch you came up by. From your chest line, you will come up by 2 inch. So now you will connect this one we have already. Now you connect it to the 2 inch we came up by. Can you see? Just do it exactly like so. And once you connect it, you are going to use your free hand. You use your free hand to make sure that there is no sharp edge. You're just going to use your free hand to connect it like so. And even if you don't have a armor curve, you can also use your free hand to connect this curve that I just did with my pattern curve or my pattern master. You're just going to do it like this, and then you're going to connect, you're going to make a curve like so. If you notice that your armhole is now too small, this is the point where you are going to this depends on the size of the person you are working on. Since I'm not of a big size, my armhole is still perfect. It's still going to fit perfectly. But if at this point you notice that the armhole is too small, you need to come down by 1 inch to extend the armhole. You come down from your armhole length by 1 inch. Since you already came down by 1.5 inch, you are going to come down by 1 inch. I hope this is clear. So the next, what I just did now is that I marked my nipple to nipple measurements. I'm just going to draw basic dots. Do you get? I'm going to come out by ½ inch on both sides. And I did that is from the full length of the top to my underbust. Can you see what I'm doing? So I collected ½ inch on both sides. So now what I'm going to do now is to mark my underbust circumference. I'm going to add 1.5 inch seam allowance. Remember, We took the bust measurement already, so I just added the 1.5 inch after the bust measurement. The next thing I want to do is take my waist measurement. I'm going to add 1.5 inch seam allowance. Then I'm going to replace the dart we took, the 1 inch dart. Then I'm going to connect the measurements we already have, like so. So that's why I say it's just a basic scale bodies. The only thing we did differently is the continuous cap sleeve. Can you see how I connected the armhole? You're going to connect it like so. I'm just trying to make extra curves to make sure that I have a perfect curve. If at this point you feel like your armhole is too small, come down by 1 inch from your existing armhole. So the depth I'm working with, I marked 1.5 inch, but if you don't want any form of discomfort, use 2 inch for the depth, because I later came down by half inch from my neck depth. So use 2 inch from your neck depth, and then use 5 inch for your neck width. That will give you a perfect curve. Okay, so now I'm just cutting this out. Please pay attention to how I am cutting it out, like so. At this point I almost destroyed the pattern because the curve was too tight. Then can you see what I'm doing? We're going to cut this off like so. Now we are going to close the dart. I'm going to be working with a velvet fabric which is also stretchy. So I'm just going to close the dart like so because I don't want to hold that on that particular fabric. This is totally optional, but I would suggest you close your dart too, so you won't have any dart line. You get, your top is going to look seamless just like the one you saw. So this is it. Now I'm going to place it on my velvet fabric. This is the fabric we are working on, and this fabric is very stretchy. And that is the reason why I am cutting like this. I didn't add any half inch. I didn't add half-inch seam allowance that I'm supposed to add. If you are working on an Ankara fabric, or if your fabric is not stretchy, you can go ahead to add half inch just like you would normal do while you are transferring your pattern to fabric. So I'm going to go ahead now to pin my neckline, and I'm going to pin it like so to secure it in place. Then I will cut out my fabric. The only part I will be leaving extra inches is the down part. That is even the last, that is the only thing I have left from the fabric, so I'm just going to leave that part like so. And the front and the back, they are the same. So I'll place the front on the back, the front neckline, the back neckline, the front armhole, everything, they are the same. So I'm going to repeat what I have done. I'm just going to cut it out again. So we now have the front and the back. So now to the sewing of the top. I'm going to be using the fabric for the facing. So I'm going to fold it into four like you are seeing, and we are going to cut out facing for the neckline first. You will fold your fabric into four like you see how I am doing. If you want to use this exact pattern, this is totally optional. You can go ahead to use a bias to turn the neckline and the armhole, but if you want it to look seamless like mine looked like, then you have to go with this process. I'll be cutting out the facing now for the neckline. Can you see what I'm doing? Just going to do it just like so. I'll be taking the width of the facing. I'm currently marking 2.5 inch. Then I'll go ahead to extend it by 3 inch. I'll be using 3 inch width for the facing. So I'll connect it like so, and I will cut out the facing. You don't need more than 1 yard of fabric, even half yard of fabric. That fabric that you have that is laying around, bring it out and sew this top if you want to recreate it. Can you see what I'm doing? I will use one of these for the facing for the neckline, one for the front and one for the back. So this is the facing for the front, and that's the facing for the back. So the next thing we want to do is to cut the facing for the armhole. This top is going to have a side zipper. As we progress with the sewing, you will see how we will continue with it. So the first thing we want to do is to work on the neckline. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and stitch the neckline for both the front and the back. I'm going to do the same thing. This is the back. Take it to the same machine and stitch both the front and the back. So I've gone ahead to stitch both the front and the back. I'm just cutting out the allowance. This one you don't need to make any notch because the neck is already wide. You don't need notch. The only thing that we need now is to use our hemming gum. Can you see? I'm going to place my hemming gum inside it, and I'm going to press this facing flat. I'll be showing you how I did it in a jiffy. So I've gone ahead to iron the facing for one of the parts of the top, which is the front. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. First thing you need to do is to place your facing very close to the stitch you made around the neckline. You're going to place your hemming gum like this, and then you are going to press it flat. If you have a steam iron, beautiful, because this is a velvet fabric, you don't want to burn it. The next thing you will do again, you are going to put another set of hemming gum again, just like how you are seeing, and then you are going to fold the edges of your facing, just like so. So you are going to have two layers of hemming gum. So if once you do that, you will be able to get this neckline I have here, and it is going to sit perfectly. Can you see? So this is what I have. I will do the same thing for the second side, and this is what I have for both the front and the back. The next thing we want to do now is to close the end. I won't be folding twice. I will just fold once like so, and that will be it. I'm just going to stitch it. I'm going ahead to stitch the hem of the top, and this is what I have already. Can you see how neat it's looking? Just do the same thing. If you're working with a velvet fabric, just do one stitch. You don't need to fold it twice. If you fold it twice, the hem is going to be feeling too thick. You get, so stitch once and you'll be good. The next thing, because this fabric does not fray, you don't need to stitch twice. Now we are going to stitch on the neckline. We are going to stitch from the shoulder to the continuous cap sleeve. From the shoulder to the continuous cap sleeve. I'll take it to the same machine and I'll bring it back to the table to show you guys. So can you see what I have already? The measurements we use to draft this pattern is the standard measurements. So when I tried it out, when I tried it out, it's not like fitted for me, because I used a standard measurement to cut this continuous cap sleeve. So every size will be able to wear it perfectly, but I'm not a big size, as you all saw in the video. So my hand is very, very slim. Can you see what I'm doing? When I wore it, it was a little bit big. So I came down by 1 inch. Then I connected the curve to the neckline. So you are going to do the same thing, but don't do the same thing because I said I came down by 1 inch. At this point, when you stitch the neckline, put the top on your body. Wear it and see how the armhole is sitting. If it's not sitting as perfect as you would want it, then you will know how many inch you would stitch out, because we use standard measurements. So I've gone ahead to stitch it again, and this time around when I stitch it, it was looking perfect. So now we are going to stitch the armhole and the sleeve together, just to make it neat. And this is how I am doing it. I just cut out 1 inch wide bias, and I'm just spinning it around like so, around the armhole and the sleeve. So I'm gonna pin it around, and then I will take this to the sewing machine and make a stitch all around. I'll bring it back to show you guys. So I'm just gonna stitch like so, and I'll do the same thing for the other side too. So I've gone ahead to make the stitch. I'm gonna cut out the excesses. So we need it to be as flat as possible. So I'm going to cut it out for both armhole. And once we have that sorted out, the next thing I want to do, I will not be stitching it out because I don't want to have a stitch line. Can you see what I'm doing? I do not want to stitch. And this is also optional. For your client, you can decide to, because it is my top, I can decide to leave it this way. I'm just going to use hemming gum to glue it. But if you are doing this for your client, that means you will need to use your bias tape to make it as neat as possible. But I don't want that line to show. I don't want that line to show. I also do not want to use bias because this fabric is stretchy. I just want to use the fabric to complete the whole top. So it's not going to be too stiff. You get, so this is what I'm going to do. And can you see what I have? This is the armhole that I have, because I just made a notch and I used my hemming gum to secure it together. So this is what I have, but like I said, this is totally optional. A better option would be your bias. If it's not your top, if it's for a client, then you need to use a bias tape. It is going to give you a more neater effect. Or if you don't want to use a bias tape, then you use the fabric. Then after you made the notch and once you glue it, you are going to stitch on it. You are going to stitch from one part of the armhole to the other part of the armhole. But I do not want to have that stitch, that visible stitch in front. I don't want it. So that's why I did it like that. So now to shape it, I'm going to mark the allowance, the same allowance I added. I'm just marking it out. I added 1.5 inch seam allowance while I was drafting this pattern. I'm just marking that 1.5 inch for both the front and the back. So I still went ahead to mark my bust measurements. Divide the bust measurement into two. If you're working with an Ankara fabric, this is what you should do. Don't just mark out your allowance you added. Then I'm marking my 13 inches again, my under bust. Then I will mark my under bust circumference divided by 2. I'll mark it. Then I will check what I have, divide it by 2, mark 1 point here, and mark the other to the other side. If you are working with an Ankara fabric, this is how you should shape your top. You're going to mark again your waist measurement, check what you have, divide it by 2, mark one here, and mark one to the back. This is how you should shape your top. So now, to add the zipper, see what I'm doing. I'm coming down by 2 inches from the armhole to 2 inches. Can you see? So I've gone ahead to stitch from that armhole now to the 2 inch I made. So from this part, we are going to have zipper for the side. So I'm just marking the seam allowance that we were supposed to stitch if we were going to stitch this place close. I'm marking the seam allowance. So this is how you are going to fix the zip. Can you see? You open the zip head and the part where the zip will stop. That is where you would put at the end of the top, and you are going to pin it like so. I'm just going to flip it. Can you see what I'm doing? Just like so. This is how you are going to fix the zipper. Just watch what I am doing, and then I'm going to pin both side of the zipper. I'm just marking my allowance. So you are going to mark your allowance. For example, if that part is 1.5 inch, you mark the 1.5 inch, and then you pin the zip to that place that you mark. Then the middle of the zip has to be in the middle of the stitch you made. Just like if you are fitting a zip on a shape skirt, that's the same way, that's the same process. So I'm just going ahead to pin it like so, and then we are going to take this to the sewing machine to stitch. But this is what you should have when you stitch it. Can you see? So we are going to stitch both just straight lines. This is what you are going to do. You are just going to stitch a straight line to all the way to the parts where you are going to come upward a bit after the stitch you made. So I'm going ahead to stitch both the front and the back, and I'm going to cut out this excess zip. It's very, very simple to stitch. So now I'm going to flip this zipper now to the back. Can you see what I have? This is how neat your zip should look. It should look perfect like this if you follow the same process, regardless of the fabric you use, stretchy or not. So I'm going to stitch like so, and I'm also going to stitch the other side like so. I'm going to stitch it down. Now I will take this to the sewing machine and then stitch on the allowance I already marked out. I'm just going to make it more visible with my chalk. I'm marking my own allowance. You are going to mark your allowance you got from your own measurements. You're going to make it more visible, and you are going to stitch it and flip this side backward and stitch. Flip it backward and stitch. Can you see what we have? I have gone ahead to stitch the end of the zip backwards, and I've also made a stitch all the way from the armhole to the end of the top, and this is what we have. The top is ready, looking pretty and beautiful. I hope you found this video useful. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.